Hello everyone, it's Meshif here today with you guys,
And I'm Axion.
and today we're going to be casting a 1v1 here on Metalopolis. On the 9 o'clock position, we have assdss. Not exactly sure how to pronounce that. I thought that maybe it was one of those word games where all the vowels are removed and you have to fill in the vowels. So I think the only word that I could think in that maybe fits that category would be assiduous, which I have to pull out my high school vocabulary terms there. But we'll call him assiduous for now. And then he is the pink Zerg over here, and then across the map we have Icefang, who is the green Protoss at the 3 o'clock.
Yep, and these are definitely good spawning positions for a Zerg player. This is about as far as you can get. And as we know, I mean, if Zerg spawns where he is here, and then if Ice Sand up there in the 12 o'clock, the rush distance would be much shorter, be much more susceptible to some sort of early push, early 2-gate, early 4-gate push. So I definitely say that favors the Zerg, lets them maybe macro up a little more. And it looks like we have a gateway going down around 12 for Ice Fang.
Yeah, and if you look at the positioning here, it looks like he might try to block off his front door against Zerg. This is never a bad idea. And we'll see, where he places the second building, but maybe he'll get the Zealot out. And you usually want to leave some room for your units to walk through, and he might just leave the Zealot to guard the remaining hole. So we'll see how he does that. We'll see how he's using his chrono boosts. He's used 2 so far on his probe, so we'll see how that comes into play. And his first assimilator does go down.
Yep, and it looks like standard play from Assiduous, throwing down the 14 pool. And I guess maybe expecting some sort of proxy. I'm not too familiar with Ice Fang. Maybe he's a player used to proxying people a lot, or maybe he just saw the probe run in the back and assumed the proxy was happening.
Yeah, it's definitely important to always be wary of probes running in your base and not paying attention. As if you guys watched one of our earlier games, I got cannon rushed in the face because I was not paying attention to my minimap. So, good call on him to notice the probe. I think the probe was headed down here towards the hidden gas vents. So, good call to find that probe out. See exactly where he's going and get him out of your base.
Yep, and it looks like Assiduous getting a queen out, as well as throwing down a defensive spine crawler as the extractor finishes. I do, I'm always a fan of maybe one spine crawler by the mineral line. I think it could be almost a little closer to the mineral line to defend against any sort of early push, as we see that Ice Fang has currently got 1 Zealot and is chrono boosting out a Stalker. So we're not quite sure what build he's going at the moment, just with 1 gateway, but he does have 2 gas ups, so maybe we'll see 2-gate Robo, and into a quick Immortal if Assiduous decides to get some roaches.
Yeah, and as I said earlier, he does end up, getting a pretty good wall right here with just enough room for units to walk through here, I believe. And if you look at the Zealot, yeah, he is holding position here. So he will block the front door from any Zerglings, will prevent the Zergling run by. And the first Stalker comes out and is able to pick off his Overlord. So, that's a pretty big pick off this early in the game. Although he does give Assiduous the scouting information he needs to see that he is indeed, well, he said 4-gate, but so far there's only 2 gates, and actually a Twilight Council is the next building on the way, so interesting play.
Yeah, a little bit unusual. Ice Fang could be going for early Blink Stalkers or some charge locks.
Yeah, we'll see what he decides to do with that Twilight Council as it just finishes. And we do see the 3rd gateway on the way, and Warp Gate being chrono boosted out almost complete, and we do see Zealot Charge on the way.
Yep, so it looks like we will be seeing Zealots in charge, as Assiduous moves his Spine Crawler up there to defend the ramp. I do really like that placement, it can poke down at it. And it looks like he is sending a drone out, possibly for scouting or an expand. It looks like it's going to scout, as he gets a second Spine Crawler up, and is busy researching Metabolic Boost.
Yeah, he's playing pretty defensively right now, which, as Zerg, is not necessarily the best thing to do, but it depends on the map, depends on what you see your opponent doing, and he was under the impression that he was going to be seeing the 4-gate, which is a pretty powerful offensive move, and we see Icefang pulling all his probes off the line, so I'm not sure what is going on there. I guess a pretty serious misclick. I think maybe he meant to send one down to start his expo, but wow, that was really a pretty big mistake, and he didn't correct it immediately. So definitely gonna hurt his economy a little bit, as it looks like this other probe is about to throw down the Nexus at the natural, and there it goes.
Yep, and it looks like two more spine crawlers coming out from Assiduous, as well as Lair Tech. And he is going for a hatchery down there in the 6 o'clock position, so maybe he's taking a chance that Icefang won't scout this and think he's on one base.
Yeah, that's really smart play. You know, especially a Zerg known to expand quickly. You know, you can really take advantage of that, and instead of taking your natural, take another one first, and then you know by the time you do get your natural, your opponent will say, okay, he's got a late natural, he's teching up. But you know, instead you've had that second all along, and so that can be really good if that does stay hidden.
Yep, and I do like here that Icefang has chosen to get a few sentries. So that if he doesn't want to use his Zealot to block there, he can easily just force field the ramp if some Zerglings try to run by. Although I would think that he'd like to move a troop or two maybe down by his expansion, because that right now is surprisingly vulnerable to a Zergling run by. They can just kind of surround it, get in there, and maybe be able to take it out if the Stalkers and Sentries can't get down in time.
Yeah, he does have plenty of Zerglings, and he definitely has plenty of resources, 750 minerals, 400 gas. So he definitely could have, you know, produced a couple more Zerglings and ran in here and tried to snipe this Nexus. And it's important to note that he has not really been using his Overlords to scout. He pretty much has them, let's see, where are they? Pretty much chilling over his lair. So, you know, it would have been really good early in the game to get an Overlord right over here behind the mineral line of Icefang's natural. So, you know, just out of range of the Stalkers, and so, you know, when you want to, you can just kind of quickly move over, peek what he's doing, see if you can see any buildings, any tech buildings going up. You'll notice when he does get his natural, and, you know, had he had that information, he could have pushed out some Zerglings and tried to snipe it before, you know, it would take a little while for his units to get down this ramp, as there is only really one kind of a single file line here.
Yeah, you make an excellent point, as Citrus throws down the Hydralisk Den and is getting groove spines, as well as the double Evo chamber, which is immediately put to use with missile attacks level 1 and Carapace, as he has some Zerglings just kind of bouncing around the map looking for any expos, which is always a good idea. You want to know if your opponent's expanding and where you are economy-wise compared to him.
And it looks like they're going to come pretty close here, and they are going to take out this pylon, which is left unprotected. Let's see how Icefang reacts. But he is going to get in there. He's going to go for the suppose, but I would say he should focus on taking down this Nexus before. Oh, and then a little misclick there. I guess he was worried about the Zerglings coming up into his main, and he ends up force fielding himself in, and the Zerglings are going to take the Nexus out.
Yeah, and it looks like some little trickery from Icefang here. He's throwing up a hidden dark shrine in the back of his base.
Yeah, that's a pretty good play. He's got the pylon in the gas and then the building outside. So, you know, an Overlord coming behind here would just see the pylon and maybe think it's used for scouting drops or anything like that. So that is a pretty tricky play, and that Dark Shrine could cause a lot of harm if left unnoticed.
Yeah, those Dark Templars are going to be coming out pretty soon, and right now it looks like Citrus doesn't have any sort of protection. Although he does have a lair, so he could easily morph an Overlord into an Overseer. Need be, but it'll be interesting to see how this plays out, as Icefang tentatively is kind of moving across the map.
Yeah, and I do like that Assiduous, our friend assdss, is moving his creep, getting those creep tumors down, creating that creep superhighway to his expansion that he has. So that's good play, and we do see a push from Icefang here. So we'll see what he can do. I think the front of Assiduous' base is pretty good, pretty well D'd up there with those spine crawlers, and they're going to be able to do a lot of damage before you know, Icefang can really get up in the base even.
Yeah, and I really like the creep spread here by assdss. I mean, he really knew this attack was coming from a mile away because of how far his creep is out into the map.
Yeah, and he pretty much makes easy work of his forces. Here we go. We got these Zerglings coming back, finding this pylon, and the Dark Templars warp in right there. And so he is going to notice that there are Dark Templars on the map. So able to snipe that pylon, which is really going to help him.
And there it is, the immediate reaction. assdss starts to get out an Overseer, and he'll be able to detect those Templar as soon as it's complete.
Yeah, and you know, you can see on the chat he's not happy about that, but you know, they were scouted. He's going to send this Overseer in, and you know, that's really going to make short work for these DTs, as they're all 3 are sniped immediately, and that pylon, that proxy pylon, is gone. So it looks right now, I would say that Assiduous does have the upper hand. He should have plenty of minerals here. He has almost 2,000, so he should definitely think about taking this expansion here, throwing up some more, moving some of these spine crawlers down, make a nice spine crawler wall to protect that. And, you know, he could start mass producing some units and get a pretty sizable army really quickly with the way he's set up here.
Yep, and I would also say Icefang should expand as well. It looks like he's actually sending a probe out to the 6 o'clock to do that. But he's going to be in for a rude shock when he finds out that there's expansion there.
I mean, how often do you see this double Protoss Zerg Alliance base building there, trying to build a nexus right on top of the hatchery? So that was pretty funny, and he is going to see that there's an expansion there, and he's going to quickly send some zealots down there. So we'll see if Assiduous realizes that his base was scouted and will bring in some defense, but he wisely pulls those drones out of there.
But then the charge kicks in and is able to cut off some of the drones.
Yeah, and this queen is going to be pretty unhappy with what's about to happen, as her base is pretty much left completely unprotected, and she's off the creep. So those drones doing a pretty good job of getting away from the zealots. They should try to make their way around down this ramp and you know, try to hide somewhere. And it looks like Icefang is now trying to take back his natural, but after running off 2 bases, Assiduous definitely has the upper hand. He's got plenty of resources. He should be cranking out Zerglings or something. With all that minerals, you know, put out a couple Overlords and you can get a bunch of Zerglings to complement your Hydras, and this game could have been over pretty quickly.
Yeah, I definitely say that Assiduous should probably expand again. He could easily take the 12 o'clock, which it looks like he's sending some drones up there. That might be what he's planning on doing, or they could just be scouting. And I would... I would recommend teching up a little bit. He does seem to have the economic advantage at the moment. If we look at the income tab, it's about even, although he does have 10 more harvesters. And he needs to get some units out here. He hasn't scouted that Icefang has a robotics support bay on the way, just completed. So we're going to see some Colossi pretty soon, and Assiduous is going to need some units to deal with that.
Yeah, and just now, Assiduous is getting his natural hatchery down. He actually sends too many probes over there, drones over there. But as I said, he's got way too many resources right now. His opponent only has 14 now. He just produced 3 more, so he's got 14 zealots and 3 Dark Templars and 2 sentries. That's all he has right now. Whereas Assiduous has 30 Zerglings and 15 Hydras. So really, his army right now is probably at least equal, if not superior, to his opponent's. Make sure he brings that Overseer with them wherever they go. And if he produced, you know, he could easily mass